Hi, this is a garden update, July 12th, 2019. My tomato plants went hog wild this year. I gave them calcium nitrate twice according to package directions. And the reason I did that was I always have blossom end rot on my tomatoes. We've been having a ton of rain, and now it's quit raining, and these plants are, some of them are 7 feet tall, and that's no exaggeration. And I don't know if that's because I gave them too much nitrogen or what, but this year that's not blossom end rot, that's just the way the fruit is forming. There's another one. I've got beautiful tomatoes this year. I mean, they're just gorgeous. You can see all these plants, they're putting out really nice sized tomatoes. I grew Rutgers, Big Boy, and Celebrity for the large sized tomatoes. And this one is a large cherry tomato called 4th of July by Burr P. And when I say a large tomato, I mean large. They're really good tasting, and they're actually large enough you can slice them and put them on a hamburger. Excuse me. But they're growing just like wildfire. Then I've got the green Versage. That's a favorite of ours. They're kind of hard to tell when they're ripe. You have to get in there and feel them, and once they start getting squishy, that's when you know they're ripe. Oh, let's see. Okra. I planted okra about a month ago. I'll walk over there here in just a sec. I just planted beans yesterday. In some of my other videos, or at least one video, I talk about these PVC pipes I put over the tops of the seeds when I plant them. The reason I do that is roly-polies or something. When I first started growing beans in the summertime here in Kansas, something was eating my plants when they would first come out of the ground. So I put these cut off pieces of PVC pipe over where I plant the seed, and I leave these rings on the plant until the plant establishes, gets its first set of true leaves on it. Once it does that, I yank all these off. Okay, let's go over and take a look at the okra. It's doing well. This is a red burgundy okra, and you can see there's some small flowers starting to form, so it won't be long and we'll have okra off of these plants. There's some more of the flowers there. That okra there is a jambalaya. It's supposed to be a real early producer. I planted these two okra about 2 days apart, and I planted this Clemson spineless right about the same time. So I've got 3 species of okra growing, and you can see These Clemson spineless are by far outgrowing the other two. They are really nice, and they have multiple clusters of flowers getting ready to start blooming on these things. And I mean, you can see how big the stalks are on these. Unreal. Unreal. I'll definitely be growing the Clemson spineless again. This is going to be the carrot bed. I won't plant the seeds till next month. I tilled it yesterday, and the reason I till it, I like to till it up a few times just to get the weeds to come to the surface. I actually tilled it, and then I'm going to water it for a few days and try to get all the weeds to sprout, so I can come out here with my weed burner and burn the weeds. Then I'll till it again and I'll burn the weeds, and I'll till it again and I'll burn the weeds. And that way, when I plant my carrots in this bed, hopefully I won't have a lot of weeds. Anyway, these tomato plants are just, they're ginormous. They're huge. Like I said, they're probably 7 feet tall, and they're producing really well. One mistake I did make this year is I planted them staggered in my bed. So these over here aren't getting the same sunlight as the ones on the south side. These plants are actually on the north side of the bed. But you can see, even being on the north side of the bed, they're putting off some really nice sized tomatoes. Now, I'm not sure what species this is, because stupid me didn't label them. I brought them out here and just planted them. So I'm not really sure which ones are which, but all the plants are doing great, and they're all putting off nice sized tomatoes. So I'll probably grow all of them again next year. You see how tall that plant is? They're in a 10-inch raised bed. I'm 5'10", and this is as high as I can reach. So yeah, that's about 7 foot tall. I just can't believe how these took off this year. They just grew like gangbusters. Oh, what else do we have? We've got cucumbers over here looking sick as always. I don't know why I can't grow nice cucumbers. Don't get me wrong, we've probably harvested 30 or so cucumbers, but I'm also growing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've also got 12 cucumber plants in here. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but my cucumbers always don't do very well, and I always end up with leaf spot. I've done some videos on that. I've just come to accept it. It's just what's gonna happen. And I've got some cucumbers growing on here, and I've also got cucumbers inside under lights that I'm gonna bring out here in about a week, and I'm going to randomly space them in the garden, just here, there, and everywhere, and just let them grow wild and see what happens. Here's some more tomato plants. They're back here where they're not getting a lot of sun, so they aren't near as tall. In fact, this is eye level, and they're about 6 foot tall. if that. And the soil probably makes a difference too. I just filled these 2 raised beds last year. I did give them all the same fertilizer, so I'm not sure if it's the difference in the soil or if it's the difference in the amount of light they're getting. But you can see these tomato plants are just huge. I harvested my onions already. They didn't do very good. I had this whole bed here completely full of onions. And I'll pause this video and show you what my harvest looked like. But the reason they don't grow that well is because of these right here. My onions were getting about 4 hours of direct sunlight. I'm either going to move the bed out there in the grass, because that area gets about 9 hours of sunlight, or this fall we're gonna cut these trees down. And I'm really leaning towards cutting these trees down, but I'm gonna have to rent an aerial lift in order to do that. So we'll see how that goes. Or next year I might just have an extra bed out there in my grass. Anyway, I'm gonna pause this and I'll take you and show you what my onion harvest looked like. But that's it for the garden update. Okay, here's my onions drying. I planted red candy onions and Walla Walla onions. They didn't turn out that great. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're using them, and I've got them inside the garage here because I didn't want to leave them outside. We were getting so much rain. I just put a little box fan in front of them, blowing on them, try to help dry them a little. But the red candy onions, well, they're about this size. And the white ones, they turned out a little better, but they're not near as big as they could have been. And I did contact Dixondale Farms, and they told me it was definitely they weren't getting enough sunlight is why they didn't do that well. This was only my second year trying to grow onions, so I'm learning. Here's one of the bigger ones, and it turned out okay. It's almost nice having the smaller onions, because when I take one inside, I can slice up one of those little red onions, and it's just enough for a couple of hamburgers, and you don't have the rest of the onion to store, or, you know, it's one onion and works out pretty good. I'll take you downstairs and let you see my cucumber plants. And I've also got broccoli and cabbage started inside. And as soon as they start growing and get established good enough, I'm gonna be moving them out to the garden also. So I'm gonna pause this video again for just a second and go downstairs. Okay, we're downstairs in my home. This is where I start all my plants. I built a grow box, and those are sun-proof or daylight-proof shades. I just attached a piece of wood to the bottom and nailed them to the top, and I can close these because in the summertime I have my air conditioning on in the house, and it gets a little cool for them. So anyway, there's the cucumbers I started, and they're just about ready to go out in the garden. I've got another bay over here. This is, oh look, we've got broccoli starting to come up already. I've never started broccoli indoors, so I don't really know what to expect here, but you can see they're little ones starting to come up there. But that's broccoli in the back and cabbage up front. And with the blinds drawn, it's 73 degrees inside my box. I thought about putting the seed starts out in my garage because it's a lot warmer out there, and they probably would have sprouted a lot better, but then I would have had to move them down here where it's cool anyway, just to get them under lights. So anyway, that's my update for July 12th. Thanks for watching.